Welcome back to Canadian Justice, where we're discussing the work of the Runnymede Society with National Director Kris Kinsinger. Now, Kris, we were just talking in the last segment about how the students at Osgoode Hall Law School had organized an event with Supreme Court Justice Rowe. And that's not the only event of the year that Runnymede is putting on that's going to have Supreme Court Justice attend. There's the national conference coming up later in January. What can you tell me about that sort of marquee event for Runnymede Society? What people could expect to see there?
Runnymede's premier event every year, Christine, is our National Law and Freedom Conference, which brings together over 200 lawyers and law students and professors to hear from a variety of different panels on really pressing issues in the law and debates that are happening in the law. And then each year we culminate with a keynote address. And we're really fortunate this year that our keynote speaker is Justice Russell Brown of the Supreme Court of Canada. And he is the third sitting Supreme Court of Canada justice in a row to headline our conference. So last year we had Justice Susan Koche, and the year before that we had Justice Malcolm Rowe. So we're very excited as that's coming up. And of course, you're going to be at the conference and you're going to be moderating our panel on Section 15 equality rights. And we'll be talking about other issues, including the state of academic freedom on Canadian campuses. We'll be talking about the nature of the right against cruel and unusual punishment and other exciting topics.
It's my favorite legal event of the year.
I'm biased, but it's mine too.
It's so wonderful and it's so prestigious that we have such high profile speakers who are able to come to it. But I want to turn back to this issue of these are controversial topics. Yeah. These are always controversial topics that are covered by the events that the Runnymede Society puts on. So how do you strike the balance between being an intellectually curious organization that is welcoming of diverse viewpoints, but also having your own perspective? Because Runnymede is certainly, as you've said, not value neutral. Yeah. So how do you get that balance right of saying, everyone is welcome. We're going to talk about really fascinating and hot topics. Mm-hmm. We have our own perspective, but everyone is welcome. How do you achieve that?
It's a really tricky balance to get right, Christine, but I think it's important that we try to do so. So like I said earlier, Runnymede is not an advocacy group. So our purpose is not to go out and take stances on specific issues, but it is to create a network and a home for people who have these values, who have these normative commitments, so that we can promote intellectual diversity within the legal academy and profession, but also within our own organization. Because even though you might have people who come together who share these commitments, that doesn't mean that they're all going to share the same ideological labels.
You mean you and I don't agree on everything?
Shocking, I know. But that's very much the case within Runnymede. And if you look at, there are numerous issues that we can point to. One of the biggest is Section 33 of the Charter, the notwithstanding clause. And there is a range of perspectives amongst our members about whether Section 33 is desirable in general, whether it's being used wisely, whether it's being used unwisely. And I think that's really good because our members are coming at these issues with certain shared values. The nature of the debate that they're having is different than what's necessarily being held elsewhere. And so because of that, we're able to contribute to a more robust dialogue more broadly. So in this way, we're really seeking to serve the law school communities in which we have chapters. And hopefully, as we continue to grow with our lawyer chapters, we want to serve the broader legal profession as well.
So I want to talk about the lawyer chapters, but first I want to ask about the conference. I mean, I attend every year, and it seems like the crowd it feels different every year. So is this for students? Is it for practicing lawyers? Is it for members of the public who are interested in issues of liberty, mm-hmm. of freedom, of constitutionalism? Who would would the general public, would it be accessible to them? What can you tell me about who Law and Freedom is for?
We certainly don't exclude anyone from attending Law and Freedom. Our topics are very legally focused. Some would say they're a little bit nerdy. And so maybe someone walking in off the street might not get the same takeaway that someone who is a lawyer or a law student would. But certainly we want it to be a place for those who are intellectually curious. And so while most people who attend are either law students or law professors or lawyers, we do have other people. We have a number of physicians who attend every year, a number of political scientists and people from other backgrounds. And so it is widely available, and there are still tickets left. And so we hope that anyone who's interested will join us this year.
If people want to get tickets, where do they go?
How do they go to our website, runnymedesociety.ca, and right at the top there we have a link to our conference page where they can purchase tickets.
Well, I'm really looking forward to it. As you said, I'm going to be moderating a panel on Section 15. There's been a fascinating development in equality, the law of equality, with a new case called Sharma, which modifies the test from another case called Fraser. And there's a big Section 15 case that the Canadian Constitution Foundation is hopefully going to be involved in the new year.